Welcome to episode 96 of Instant Expertise Marketing. Today, we are halfway through our 8-part mini-series focused on real examples of how sales and marketing teams can use AI to double productivity and get done their work faster, easier, and oftentimes better. I'm Yvette Brown, co-founder of XPROMOS. I became an entrepreneur at 23 by starting a promotions agency with my then 29-year-old business partner, Sherry Nomadi. Sherry and I use generative AI every single day, and we also continue to urge all of our knowledge worker friends and colleagues to prioritize upskilling on AI right now, like your job depends on it, because we think it does.
And I'm Sherry Nomadi. Yvette and I, we have always approached business from opposite ends of the spectrum.
From day one.
Yep, from day one. I think that's made us better and it's made our work better that we deliver for our clients because we do always come to the same conclusions on how we help our clients succeed. This is an 8-part series, as we have said, on AI productivity for sales and marketing teams. And it will culminate with our, 100th episode, which somehow just seems very fitting. And it's going to happen before the end of the year on top of all that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Sherry. It does seem very fitting. I went back and looked in the Wayback Machine, and we actually started this podcast 6 years ago. And we have had some monumental episodes along the way. And that was everything from our 30 and 30 marketing insights to celebrate our 30th anniversary, to our COVID pivot, and even our sell to stores collaboration. But what's been consistent through all of this, including our most recent work on AI, is our commitment to sharing our expertise with our audience.
We'll save some of those sentiments for episode 100.
I know you're oh so sentimental.
Those are really good, though. And right now we're on episode 96, and we still have several AI training for sales and marketing episodes to go. Today, we're going to focus on part 4 of the 8, like Yvette said, and this is for marketing teams. And again, we're going to be demonstrating how the standard AI models can help you double, it's usually more than that, your productivity, whether you are a sales executive, a marketing executive, or a frontline worker. This is for you.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, you're going to see our demos actually here on the video as we walk through them on ChatGPT. This will work with any LLM, but ChatGPT is our AI of choice, or at least of convenience. And if you're listening, we promise to do our best to be clear about what we're doing so that you can follow along and check back in with the show notes for anything you might have missed.
Well, with that, let's get started.
That sounds awesome. I'm going to go ahead and screen share my ChatGPT. And what we're going to do today is we're going to use a tool, GPT, that we created in our group that is designed to show you how to build your own AI role plan. This was kind of a big aha for us as a group, is to understand that this idea of personalization at scale, which is really kind of a holy grail for sales and marketing, and what it turns out that AI is really good at. For us, one of the things that it can do really well is customize a roadmap for you to use AI. And the reason that's so important and why we talk about unleashing your superpowers and all of that is because every one of us, just like the way that we use our mobile phone or our computers or any other piece of technology, or really anything in life, it's very personalized to us, right? Like, the way I use my phone is different than Sherry's and different than, our clients and everyone else. AI is very much like that. And it's sort of why these off the shelf tools, right? Kind of like wrapped around an LLM model might not be great for you and might not be perfect is because they're not for you. You didn't build them with a foundational understanding of taking your brain and putting it into what you normally do and automating that for AI and being able to get your output faster and easier. And the way that we've been able to demonstrate this for people is to create what we're calling these role plans. And so I'm going to demonstrate one since we're on marketing. I'm going to say that I'm a brand manager at an organic chip company. This is a demo that we ran last week that turned out really well. And the reason we wanted to show this in particular is because if you're a brand manager in a packaged goods company, you're going to have a different set of responsibilities than a brand manager at a B2B SaaS, right? You're going to have some overlay, there's no doubt about it. But as you can see in this thing that I'm outputting, and I'll tell you about it, those that are listening, is that the 8 areas of focus for this marketing person is brand strategy, marketing campaign management, product development support, customer insights and analytics, digital and social media, partnerships and collaborations, sales enablement, and team leadership and development. Now, this has some consistency with B2B roles, but the types of things that you're going to do, like influencer outreach and flavor testing surveys and things like that, you can tell that AI has already picked up right away on 4 words that are like, oh, you're organic and you're a potato chip. All right, I'm going to need to kind of focus on that and figure out how that's relevant. When we use this process in our regular training for upskilling teams on AI, we start everybody with this role plan. And the reason why is because, like I said, everybody has their own personal relationship with AI and they all do things a little bit different. This is a really good way to create a roadmap that helps you through the rest of our training process, but really kind of helps you going forward in knowing how to articulate what it is you're doing and then understanding how to ask AI for help. So in this case, like I said, with these areas of competency, AI is suggesting that our brand manager does everything from consumer value prop maps to email marketing campaigns and sales forecast dashboards and collaboration agreements and all sorts of kind of fun things. So Sherry, I'm going to ask you to pick one deliverable out of these 64 that we can sort of roll through and show how AI can help this poor little brand manager get their job done faster and easier.
And I'm going to pick one that does not maybe cross over with B2B SaaS. And that is going to be the flavor tasting surveys. So I'm pretty sure a person in B2B SaaS doesn't have to worry about something like that.
I'm loving that. I was kind of thinking the same thing because, we always come to the same conclusions.
Yeah, might not have gone the same route, but we get there.
See, it's exactly how it is. We tried to tell y'all. So what our AI is doing right now in this little GPT is it's showing the different ways that it can help us get these flavor testing surveys done using its capabilities. In case you're not familiar, and most people are not, like 99% of the folks, ChatGPT right now has 10 different input-output scenarios that it can offer up and different things that it can do for you. And that includes inputs of images, text, and voice, web and file and codes, and output of like kind of similar. So for instance, you can do text to text where you can have AI draft survey questions with specific goals in mind. It can also do image to text where it can analyze images of survey forms that were compiled on paper. You can feed the beast and put those in and let it do faster data compilation. Like this is the type of thing where if you're out at an event and you're doing some work by hand, and we've all been at those events, you can actually have it help you get that done faster. But there's also other cool things it can do, like text to code. It says it can generate custom scripts to integrate surveys into your website or app. AI can create simple JavaScript code for embedding flavored testing surveys and enhancing accessibility for respondents. From what I understand from my coding friends is that, especially the newer models are very good at generating code and code snippets, which is something that it's gotten really good at over the last probably 6 months or so. And the list goes on. And like, this is all kind of fun, but we kind of like would prefer something that's a little bit more direct. Like, we asked you to help us with flavor testing surveys. So what can you do? And now I've got it focused here, and it's actually going to create a step-by-step process, right? And in this case, it's going to give us not only the steps of creating that survey, but it's going to give us the prompts we need to get it to help us get that survey done faster and easier. So it starts with defining the purpose of the survey. It's giving us a prompt that says, don't do anything yet. Here's what we're trying to create. You can insert your company name here. This survey will collect consumer preferences, opinions, and suggestions about different chip flavors. This feedback will guide product development and marketing strategies. Ensure the survey is engaging, clear, and concise, and that it covers multiple choice, scale, and open-ended questions. Okay, so right out of the gate, it's defined the survey really, really well, and you didn't have to think too much about this to get this done. It's suggesting that this is what you need to tell it to create this survey. Next, it goes through step 2, identifying key objectives. It says that, list key objectives for the flavor survey. Focus on understanding consumers' favorite and least favorite flavors, preferences for flavor intensity, texture, and seasoning, suggestions for new flavor ideas, and demographic details. Now, when you're building this, maybe this is not in the order that you would want this, or maybe you want to add or delete something. The point is, you've already got a framework to get you going on this that probably saved you a fair amount of time of just thinking about this if you haven't done one of these before, or even if you want to evaluate the ones that you've done before and see how you can make it better. Our step 3 here is to create an introduction section, and it kind of writes a little thing that says, write a friendly and engaging introduction, thanking participants for their time, explaining the purpose, and providing an estimated completion time. Include an assurance of confidentiality. Again, I didn't write this. AI suggested that in doing this, this is best practices of how you would put that together. Step 4 is to develop flavor evaluation questions. And again, in the prompt here, it's suggesting that we create 5 multiple choice questions asking to rate preferences on the following aspects: sweetness, spiciness, saltiness, novelty of flavor, and it's also an aftertaste. It's also suggesting using a 5-point Likert scale for 1 strongly dislike up to 5 strongly like. That's a pretty good, well-known scale that would be statistically relevant as you significant as you move forward and look through it. Step 5 is to include an open-ended question. And in this case, it's asking, the prompt says, write 3 open-ended questions for the survey to gather creative input from participants. The question should encourage respondents to suggest new flavor ideas, provide feedback on existing flavors, and share their ideal potato chip experience. Step 6, add a demographic question that might be, you can decide if you want to do this. Create 3 demographic questions that help categorize by age, location, dietary preference, like vegan, gluten-free, etc. Make sure the questions are concise and include clear options. Step 7, ensure survey flow and clarity. Arrange the survey questions in a logical flow: introduction, demographics, flavor evaluation, open-ended question. Step 8, test for accessibility. Provide recommendations to ensure that the flavor testing survey is accessible and user-friendly for all participants. Consider digital formats, mobile compatibility, and optional language translations. Step 9, create a summary report template. Draft a template for summarizing the survey results. Include sections for key findings, demographic breakdowns, flavor preference trends, and participant suggestions. Ensure it's visually appealing and easy to present to stakeholders. And then step 10, generate the final survey. Based on all previous steps, generate the complete flavor testing survey. Format it as a digital questionnaire ready for use on platforms like Google Forms, Typeform, or SurveyMonkey. Okay, so again, for those of you who have been through this, creating a survey, a preference survey for any type of product, I'm hoping you say what I do is like, wow, that's like pretty good, and probably thought of some things that I wouldn't necessarily have grabbed off the top of my head. And, again, maybe you don't do this every single day, but if this is something that comes up occasionally, you can kind of put this thing together and you're going to have a template going forward and you're kind of done with it. And you can customize it any way you want. Now, as if that wasn't enough, right? It literally gave us the prompts that we can feed in to get this thing done, right? So how long do you think it's going to take us to have AI help us do this versus doing it ourselves? Well, the way we find out is we ask AI. And for this particular thing, giving all of those steps, designing the survey, writing the questions, collecting and compiling results, analyzing and generating reports, it's suggesting it might take about 27 hours, but with AI, it would take you 7 hours. So you're going to save 20 hours right in this one thing. And again, what you saw at the beginning is that your role plan has 64 different deliverables, 8 competencies, each of which have 8 deliverables. This is one thing. This is one thing on your big list. So what would happen? What can it do across the way? Well, we're going to ask it how much time it can save you across all of those deliverables. And honestly, although the number is going to be big, it's going to guess low, believe it or not, because that is what we have seen with the folks that we have trained on this process. So according to this, our total metrics, it's suggesting that you can save 87% of your time across the board, which is kind of mind-blowing, right? And that runs from saving 25 hours for brand strategy to 17 hours on your partnerships and collaborations, doing things like drafting partnership pitch decks and automating communication workflows. Now, one thing I like to do sometimes when we do this is I like to ask it to tell me which 5, because I'm looking at 64 things here, right? And where am I going to start on this list? It could be the thing that I have due this week, if that's my chip survey, or I could just say, tell me which 5 things would be most impactful to optimize with AI, and which 5 would be quick wins, right? Because as you can imagine, some things on this list you can do really quickly and it'll be a quick win, and other things are going to take a little more time but have greater worthiness. So if you look at high impact tasks, it's going to say, yes, the flavor survey is meaningful, but it can also suggest that the brand health tracking dashboards are meaningful because it provides continuous insights into your brand performance, and this would aid at the highest level. Campaign performance reports, again, this is impactful because it ensures your marketing dollars are spent effectively, which improves your ROI. Marketing segmentation dashboards, okay, again, this will help enhance targeting precision, making sure your campaigns and your product launches reach the right audience. And social media content campaigns. These will just make sure that you're aligning your digital presence with your brand strategy and amplifying engagement. Now, in terms of quick wins, it's suggesting that those social media engagement reports, automating that is going to be quick. Your ad copy and creative briefs, using it to create compelling copy and organizing your briefs is a quick win. Email marketing campaign plans. This is another one, that automatic drafting and segmentation and quickly variety. This is a quick win. This is one we love also because it relates back to that bigger topic of personalization at scale. And the holy grail for us sales and marketing folks is the idea that you can, we can all personalize, but personalizing at scale takes time and it takes effort. And oftentimes it gets moved into that too hard pile, and we tend to aggregate a group all together because we don't have the bandwidth to create a bunch of micro segments and talk to them specifically, even though we know that's going to get us better results. Well, we're here to tell you that AI, you can do that now. You can personalize at scale, and that is going to affect your response. Like, there's just no way around it. Like, that is absolutely going to help, and it's something you can absolutely do with AI effectively and efficiently.